Hello, this is Robert DeGraw from lawofonestudy.com, and today we're going to go over Matrix of the Mind archetype from the Law of One, Book 4. It's a book of 5 books, and I really recommend reading all the other books first if you can, because they're a lot easier to read, at least they were to me. Book 4 was the hardest for me to read and the hardest to understand, but that's where I got a lot of benefits from. So figured I'd do a video on it in case it helps anybody else. The first archetype is Matrix of the Mind, also known as the Magician, archetype number 1. And according to Ra, this is the most close to the original card of the Tarot, the sacred Tarot, when it was given to Earth. And the closest card series that I could find was this card series from the Brotherhood of Light. So if you need actual hard cards, you can get it from them. It's on Amazon and other places. Otherwise, you can just photocopy it out of the book, out of Law of One, Book 4, and then you can make your own cards out of cardboard. This is really good for meditation. Later when you're pondering and meditating about the cards, these are great. But notice the similarities. So this is the one, obviously, from the Law of One. And then this is the one. And the other book, The Sacred Tarot by the Brotherhood of Light by Z.Z. Zane. Z.C. Zane. And notice it's pretty darn close. It's very close. So this is not a bad book to get. I would recommend studying the Law of One books a lot before going to the Z.C. Zane one. But I'll take a picture of this and I'll upload this to the internet too, and lawofonestudy.com will be launching very shortly. Should be launched by the time you watch this. But notice each page I went through the whole book 4, actually the whole series, and anytime it mentioned Matrix of the Mind or anything on this card, I wrote it down. So here, obviously it's a male figure, page 159. So this is page 159 in the Law of One book, hardcover. And I recommend getting the book so you can do your own notes in it. It's a lot easier, and for going back to things, and you can kind of highlight things and star things that how important it is to you. But so page 159 in the book, and then in the parentheses, the PDF, if you're downloading the PDF versions of the book from the website, it's the PDF. Is page 141. So page 159 in the hardcover book corresponds to PDF, the page 141 in the PDF. So you notice that I put that was in, next to each. So this card represents consciousness, and you can find that on page 151 of the book or page 133 of the PDF. This spear that he's holding has to do with the will. Again, page 143. Page 127 in the PDF, and it's the will to manifest things. You can find that page 148 in the PDF on page 131. The reason the fingers are in the shape they are is on page 191. The PDF is 169. This is a magical gesture, page 148, PDF 131. This other hand is very important. This is the will, locked without will. Page 149 in the PDF, it's 132, and I'll go more into depth in this in a longer video later, but I just wanted to give a quick overview so people don't get confused and they can kind of go explore themselves. It's very important to kind of, it takes quite a while to build up to, but obviously there's a bird on this card. You can find that page 151 and also on page 149. So in the PDF it's 133 and 132 of the PDF. So the bird is a symbol of the third density illusion of the material world. The checkered down here has to do with polarity, and Ra explains that in page 149 in the PDF on page 132. There's more about that in page 150 and 151, PDF 133. And there's a star that's usually on the card, on the original card. Some stars, and it was a wand. So, some people changed it, but Ra kind of made it go back to the original. This is the original when it was given to Earth. The original sacred tarot that was given to Earth. So it's good to study it the way it was given. And then maybe figure out why people added things later. It could have been to improve things, or it could have been for deception. So start with the original. There's a star. You can read about that on page 149 or 132 of the PDF. A cup, page 150. A sword on page 151, and a coin on page 151. And these all have to do with a redrawing of the card that Ra talked about. And so that's on page 190 and page 191 of the hardcover book. And then it's good to make lists. I condensed this down. My other one's bigger, but it has to do with anything having to do with matrix of the mind was mentioned in the Law 1. I wrote down the page so I could go back to it. So what I do is, when it's been a while and I haven't studied this for a while, I come back to it. It's a little confusing. So what I have to do is real quickly, it only takes an hour or so to go read these pages real quick and read these pages, and then you kind of got a good grasp of what that card means again. And then later you can do is compare what each card means to each other. So it's really simple. I'll go more into this later in another video, but you have 22 archetypes. There's the mind path 1 through 7, the body path 8 through 14, spirit path 15 through 21. So mind, body, spirit. Very easy. It kind of seems like they're similar paths. Notice they combine into the 22nd archetype, which some people call the Fool, which is quite a deception because it's actually the choice. It's actually the most important one, so why they called it the Fool is kind of deceptive because that's the most important one. Notice on the mind path, there's a veil between 1 and 2. And there's a veil between 8 and 9 in the body, but not on the spirit. So the mind has a veil, the body has a veil between the first 2 steps of the archetypes. The spirit does not, which is a very good reason to trust your spirit and learn through your spirit, because there's no veil from your spirit. I'll go more into that later on another video. But notice, I'll upload a picture of this. So hopefully it comes out. If not, I'll type it up. But I recommend reading all these pages when you're studying the matrix of the mind. So page 27, 33, 34, 39, 40, 41, 43, 112, 126, 143, 148 to 153, 154, 155, 156, 159, 190 to 191, and 134. And because this is the first archetype, the veil is very important to understand. So there's a whole area of the veil when you're trying to understand the veil. Page 203 to 204, 176, 172, 160, 158, 112, and 73 to 81. So hopefully this simplifies it a little bit for people. I think I read book 4 3 or 4 times before I started to even basically grasp it. So maybe this can help you hit the ground running and not get frustrated. Ra talks about 3 different paths of learning, and not everybody is drawn to the tarot. You may prefer astrology. And nowadays the veil is so thin, there's, I think, hundreds of other ways to reach awakening, enlightenment, gnosis, knowing, whatever you want to call it. So there's so many different ways. So go with whatever feels best. If this is frustrating to you, take a peek around at all the other tools that are out there, and maybe something else will work better for you. But if you're drawn to the tarot and want to learn it, there's been a lot of people's interpretations, let's say, of the tarot. So it's kind of good to go back, even if you're familiar with those. Go back to the original and just see what maybe the purpose of the original was to learn from. And then if you go back to your other methods of doing tarot, fine. There are different things that work together. But just try learning this, and hopefully it helps. And if you need any questions or anything, I'll try to be available, and we'll get a whole bunch of us coming together, because I'm sure there's lots of other people on this planet that know more about this than me, so maybe we can all help each other. All right, thank you very much. More videos coming soon.